Yes.
We're about to start. Can y'all put your phones on silent or turn them off, please?
Just turn mine on in my pocket.
Donna.
Yeah, there's two places.
Turn on the strip.
I have to sit up front because I can't hear him.
Sorry.
9 o'clock.
I was talking to.
All right, we're going to establish a quorum. We have 4 directors here. We are missing Travis. He is out of town on business, and his laptop isn't working, so he can't zoom in. So you're stuck with me. So anyway, welcome. Okay, we now have brought the meeting started for December 18th, 2021. Okay, we've established a quorum. We're going to stand and have a moment of silence and personal reflection, and then do the pledge. Okay, shall we do our Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under one and indivisible.
Okay, we're going to do the approval of the minutes from the general board meeting on November 20th, 21. Has everyone had a chance to read them?
Yes.
Okay, any comments or changes to be made?
No.
Make the motion.
Yes, can someone make a motion to approve them?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from November's meeting.
Okay, second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Okay, the secretary's report.
Okay, there's been, I'm gonna take this off real quick. There have been several pieces of correspondence that have come in this month. Ms. Jennings is asking, I would like to know when the board is going to do something about the conditions of the roads in Unit 14. Let me know if you have any questions. I've driven them. There's no questions. Okay. Remember, I'm supposed to report the news. I don't get to make comments on it, so I can't tell you when the roads are going to get fixed right now. Then there's another one from, who is this one from? Please add, oh, this is for me. I asked Julie to add the following items to the secretary's report, and then some of them might have made the agenda. This is from Community Council's meeting of December 11th. There are issues that we would need to put on the agenda at some point and discuss are the closed trails, the White House, and I'm sure that everyone knows about the White House. The town hall meeting, as far as non-property owners, can renters go to the meeting? That was a topic of discussion. Lights on Fort Clark Road, increasing the number of street lights on Fort Clark Road. And what is the COVID employee policy? Those were all from Community Council. Once again, there's another comment from a member, Joyce, what?
She's a renter.
She's a renter. She would like to know, do renters get to participate at the town hall meetings? And then there's some requests made directly to Mr. Peterson here, so I'll go ahead and give those to him. And that's the treasurer, or the secretary's report.
Okay. Treasurer's report? Do we have to accept that? Do we have to approve it?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, cash in Texas, money in Texas Community Bank. The checking has $99,817.37. Credit card account has $87,779.68. Money market, $9,294.73. Bank and trust, Los Morris, $2,004.54. The restricted fund has $417,894.61. General, $222,932.90. Preservation, $474.90. For a grand total of $840,198.72 between the two banks. Total cash on hand as of 12/16/2021. Total cash on hand, $421,829.22. The breakdown of the restricted fund has a letter of credit of $152,000. Owed to preservation, $17,596. Money available to the fort, $248,298.66. And the total of balance of the restricted fund is $417,894.61. Motel revenue for November. Room count was 656 for a total of $49,091. Member services, $625. Collection report. Total for November collected, $14,071. From October, we collected $8,107. And the previous year, from November, we collected $15,234. Profit and loss balance sheet, current month. Total income, $213,363. Total expenses, $188,266 for an income of $25,023. The year-to-date total income is $440,169. Total expenses, $370,400, for a net income of $69,477. Our total assets, $1,172,015.67. Total liabilities and equity, $1,172,015.67. Your treasurer's report.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question real quick? No. Sorry, Bill. Whenever you add up the balances here, it gives us $840,198.73, but on the total cash on hand, isn't that supposed to agree with this, or am I misreading it?
No.
Your cash on hand does not include your, anything in the restricted fund or anything like that.
Okay.
Or your note that you have to guarantee for the.
For the landfill? Okay, all right, thank you.
I'd like to make a comment. Thank you for specifically establishing a preservation fund that lets us know exactly what we have. And is that going to be new, or just continue to go forward with numbers, or moved into a study budget?
I think we need to transfer it every month. Just
Okay,
have to
that would
make
be
it an
great.
accurate account.
Life would be simple. Thank you. Okay. Executive officers report.
Questions on the White House? I think that's been resolved, or will be resolved later today, in the meeting. Town hall meeting, I do have it for our property owners. And that's who I want to answer to and answer those questions. There may be a time where I bring it in to everybody, but my focus is for the members. And that's where that's what it's for. That's what the town, it's the general manager's town hall meeting. It's nothing official. There's nothing in the bylaws. It's something I want to have quarterly with the members and the owners. If we want to do something else later, or when the board has their town hall, if they want everybody involved, that's fine. This is for my benefit and for me to get some more information from members and owners. Lights on Fort Clark Road, I can't agree more. There are two very, very dark areas on Fort Clark Road. I've talked to Rio Grande Electric. I have not gotten any quotes because the one thing about them is they have to be near transformers. And figuring out where we want to put them. And that's going to have to be a board decision on where we want them, because no matter what, we'll probably have some complaints about shining in the back windows of some houses. So it's a matter of looking where we want those lights put. I think we do need 2 more lights on Fort Clark Road. And they will be our expense. And COVID employees, or COVID procedures, we follow CDC, you know, we get tested positive, we get it, you have to have 2 negatives to come back. And now that most of us have all had COVID, we probably shouldn't be good for a while. We will be having a New Year's Eve party, which will come out on the dispatch at Dickman Hall. If anybody hasn't received the information, there's a Dutch oven cooking presentation tomorrow at 2 o'clock out at the RV park. It's being done with the Texas A&M Extension Service. And they came to me and it sounded like a good idea, but it is RSVP. You need to call and get reservations. I think they want to have at the most around 30, and I think we're around 25 now. So it's going to be a good, interesting thing. Potluck at the RV park's been going real well. Pancake breakfast. Anybody missing? They're at the pancake breakfast. If you haven't noticed, we started knocking down dead trees at Par 3 course. We finished the southern course. We have 1 tree left, and that's going to be an issue because of water lines. And then we will start the northern course this next week. And the trees we are knocking out are all the ash trees, Arizona ash trees, which if you saw some of them were hollow all the way from the ground all the way up to the top. I mean, they were just rotten. And they've been real easy to pull out. So we've done that. Now, last year I explained the schedule for our landscaping crew. Once the grass starts growing in March, our focus is on mowing grass and just weeds and things like that. When the winter comes, starting in October, November, December, that's when we can start trimming some trees, and that's what we're focusing on now. Right now, we're working on removing all the Arizona ash trees. We will not, it's already too late for us to develop a plan to plant new trees. That will be for next October, November, and December is the planting the trees that we're replacing. We're looking at 3 different trees. We'll do pecan, but on this square here, it's only going to be live oak in that area. At the RV park, there are about 30 trees that have died there over the years. Those will be replaced with live oak, Texas red oak, and pecan trees. Can't do pecan trees around the RVs because they drop limbs a lot. So the rest of them will be on the interior, pecans will be on the exterior. If we really look at the number of trees we need to replace that have died or be put out, we're looking around 100 trees in the fort that have died or will be replaced. So we're developing a plan right now for where we're going to be putting all those trees. We cannot, it's too late for us to plant this time of the year, so we'll start probably at the end of October next year and start planting and a planting program there. We have to put irrigation out here, replace it, and hopefully we can get some grass out there. But that's what the focus is right now. That's why you see the trees disappearing. We have to prep up the area and get ready. make sure. The RV park, we're also designing and making 2 areas that will be prototypes for what we want to do with the utility islands out there. And make them, and we know we want to pave, but where the utilities are, where the water and everything else, the water and electricity, we want to make sure that we make those decorative and look good before we pave. Barracks Inn and the RV park, we are now active with our Protel software. We've been running with it since the 1st of this month. Without a doubt, it's getting better. I was anticipating some issues, we've definitely had issues, but everybody seems to be taking to it now. Our occupancies, we can give numbers now that we didn't have before. The reservations are going easy, the accounting part is working out real well, so that's all online. That's been probably one of the bigger projects we've done in the last 6 months, so we have all the reservations in that we have are now in the computer. Housekeeping and laundry items, we've inventoried what we need there. We will need to upgrade to 1 more washer and dryer, commercial washer and dryer, because with the DPS agents, we do not have the facility to do all the laundry without basically running 3 or 4 hours more on payroll a day, doing all this kind of volume. So we've redesigned it down there and getting quotes and trying to develop a plan for that. The last washer and dryers that were bought here was a small, actually 40-pound, was bought in 2015. So it's 5 years, 6 years old. And so it's, before we run out of and don't have a washer, I want to make sure we have a backup and going there. The golf and the bathroom course is supposed to be remodeled starting this last week. I haven't gone out there yet. Accounting, our internal audit, or independent audit, will start on January the 10th. Once it is finished, then our new accounting firm will start working with us more involved than what they have been. They want to get the other people out of the way before they come in. They've given us input on this year, but they really don't want to start off until the other people are completely out of the way. We have gone with Jerry, who's done our auditing in the past. We've negotiated a little bit different arrangement. And hopefully he has all the answers, or more answers than anybody else does, so we really need to work with him this year. Maintenance, of course, you watch them with the trees at the RV park. We're working on the irrigation repair, and the irrigation we have repaired not just on the par 3s, but on the Barracks Inn, Seminole Hall, Dickman Hall, and Administration Building. All of those areas that we need to work on. Now, I am trying to get a punch list for all the Fort Clark-owned properties so that we know exactly what is there that needs to be worked on. For instance, this room right here has 15 fluorescent fixtures that some work, some don't. All the ballasts are bad, so you have to replace them with LEDs. But you have 15 here, you have 15 in the lobby. You have right around 55 light fixtures that need replaced just in this structure. And that goes pretty much everywhere, because these are old fixtures. Bathrooms, everybody knows about our bathroom issue and how many need, whether HVAC systems in the bathrooms here, which in the winter are sort of inconvenient. We have probably 20-something HVAC systems that are not working on the fort in various buildings. So I'm trying to do a completely itemized list so we can look at things and know where we are. It seems like every building I go into, one day I find new things the next day. So it just keeps building. One of the things I think we may have a discussion on later is moving our fitness center to where the teen center is. Work with 3 different companies on working with some cardio equipment to put in there, some flooring, and moving some of our strength training, but also adding a little bit more. That I would like to have in place by the end of February, maybe March. But we have to make a decision if it's in our best interest to go to the teen center and use that as a fitness area. The adult center is cramped, it's in bad shape, we need a lot of work to do there. But at the same time, if we get everything out, we can clean it up and make the activity center, or the adult center, more of an activity center for both seniors and teens and arts and crafts, things like that. So that's something we will be discussing once I get all the quotes in. It is time to probably hire a recreation director if we get this in, and that will be something that someone will be over the fitness center, the teen center, all of our RV activities, outdoor recreation programs, something like that. We've recovered enough to go ahead and get that going, because Jerry's been doing a lot of things, but that was sort of it's grown so much in the last 6 months that now it's getting to be a two-person job. Is that enough? Okay,
Alrighty.
that's the end of my report.
I just have a couple of questions. The lights on Fort Clark Road, where is the concern on Fort Clark Road exactly that,
And that corner, from that
where it
bend.
curves?
Mhm.
That, one or two lights possibly?
The closest light is on Airport Road, which is more on Airport Road than it is on Fort Clark Road. And the other one would be at the Oaks. And that's also not really on Fort Clark Road, so it'll be in that range. It's a matter of looking where the transformers are and where they can get there without putting a new transformer in there. But somewhere in that area.
Would the members have an opportunity to either say yea or nay, or it's gonna be automatic, or the ones that live in that area?
Well,
Good question.
if there's more light needed, then it sounds to me it's more like a safety factor, not an individual homeowner's decision.
It's just something to think about.
No, I know.
I would have to say it's probably a safety factor, but there are a lot of dark areas, like, the park down here and everything, that are areas, but that is, when you're walking there at night, it is extremely dark in that section. There's an absolute, I realized that when I came here last year. So I think we need to look at our options first before we really decide and put it out to people. It's like doing the variance for in the architect or whatever. We need to give it to the people that live in that area to see their input also. And let them, use their opinion.
Regarding members only town hall, will that include people who have FRMs?
I would say no,
Okay. So then the new dispatch will reflect for lot owners only?
lot owners only.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
I just wanna get clear on that.
can renters sit and listen, or would you?
I'm not gonna take a roll.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. It's a matter of, I want to listen to the owners.
Right.
I don't want it monopolized by people that aren't owners.
So they can come as long as they're,
Sure.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so then it's still open to everyone then? So it's not lot owners only? That's what I'm trying to make clear.
But if you're a renter,
Anybody, in other words, anybody can
Let's
come.
put it this way, I'm here to listen to the lot owners.
Owners, okay. So everyone is
That's
welcome.
as plain as I can make it.
everyone's welcome, but if you're a renter, don't sit there and monopolize the
Yeah.
meeting, because other people that actually own properties need to be heard.
That probably needs to be stated at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Committee reports. Is this the one this is what that was last month's, wasn't it?
This one's new.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
the-
you've got one? Okay, good. Go ahead.
Anybody from airport here? No? Okay, the airport committee. This was submitted December 17th at 8:49 p.m. There was one visiting pilot this month. Standard maintenance was conducted to include additional work on the main hangar doors. The lights at the hangar remain inoperable, and we have not been provided any updates of updates on when of it will be repaired. To clarify the details of the light, there was one exterior light that had provided security to the hangar. On or about April 15th, the light was busted, as the light was shattered. It was reported to management. On June 1st, follow-up was sent to inquire as to when the light will be repaired. Mid to late June, a light bulb was screwed into the fixture, one that did not work. August 10th, an additional message was sent requesting the light be fixed. It was recorded in the last board meeting that the issue is with the interior electricity of the hangar, and that is not the issue. The electricity inside the hangar works just fine. The exterior light needs to be replaced. We would appreciate communication to inform us how this will be addressed. Fort Clark Springs Airport Committee 74TX. Whenever you submit a report, please put your name on it if you're the person that's submitting that report, because like this one, I need to respond to, and I don't know who 74TX is. So if you're turning in
I
a
can give
report,
some information on the light.
okay,
When we worked last month with the person to replace the windsocks, he's the new pilot out there. We pulled the light fixture up, because it is the fixture. And we handed it to him and gave it to him. He said he will get the new fixture and replace it and give it to us, and we will take the bucket truck out there. So they have the fixture. Now, it was our understanding, it was Philip and I out there, that they were gonna replace the light fixture and we would put it up. So that's where the light fixture is. But this was done last month. So.
Okay, is that it?
that's all from the airport.
Architectural?
I don't have anything from architectural.
The golf committee?
Did not receive anything.
Preservation, there's one for preservation. I just saw it. You?
Yes, got that one. All right, Preservation Committee report, December 2021. At the November 30th, 2021, 3 p.m. meeting of the Preservation Committee, there were changes made to the makeup of the committee. Phil Coburn is resigned as president for personal reasons. The committee thanked him for his many years of service to the organization and to other groups. After much discussion, the committee made a motion to elect H.N. Bitter as president and Bruce Maliano as member at large. Enclosed is an up-to-date list of the Preservation Committee members. Future committee meetings will return to the second Wednesday of each month at 3 p.m. in the boardroom. The entire committee will do an exterior inspection of the service club before 1/12/2022 monthly meeting due to discovery of exterior rotten wood. That's the service club. Respectfully submitted, H.N. Bitter, President.
Okay, recycling.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We sent off 44 bales of cardboard last week, and the company always takes about 6 weeks to reply with a check. So, but we should do pretty well on that since we don't have to pay for the truck. Yes. The regular recyclables will probably be sent off maybe the second week of January. So we're getting up there, but we always encourage more people to bring their recyclables. That's it. Questions?
Nope. You want to go right into Los Morris?
Sure, Las Moras Restoration Project. There's nothing to report this month. Oh, that saves time.
I would like to say that I didn't make the community council last Saturday morning. I had wanted to, but I got the bright idea to drive to Fredericksburg with Sharon, and the two of us were down there for hours, and not with Sharon, with Angela, yes. And we were invited into a gun show that we knew was there. We had no booth, we hadn't paid any money, and they took us in with welcoming arms, gave us a table and a chair, and we sold raffle tickets there. So that's what we were doing. We're trying to keep that raffle moving forward. So I'm sorry I missed that community council meeting, but everybody knows that the vice president doesn't do anything anyway, so. Anyway, so I wanted to apologize for not being there.
If I may go back to the golf report, I was, what's today, Saturday? Okay, I was there yesterday regarding the rehab of the men's and women's bathrooms on hole 16. The men's, since they're right next to each other, of course I went into the men's room. And it's totally gutted, toilet is outside, they are, and at this point, I guess that's the whole answer, it's totally gutted. The women's, looks great, I mean, it's painted, yay, they put tile on the wall, even put 2 pictures, which is unbelievable, 2 pictures are on the wall. And, but there's 2 toilets, and one of them still says, do not use. So that's,
That is being done by the golf committee.
okay, there you have it. And I
Actually, they're
believe-
paying for everything.
Yeah, and they're paying for it, so it's fabulous. But anyway, they're making progress.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Election committee.
Don't get my knees to go.
Well, things are about to heat up for the election committee. All of the candidate data sheets and any accompanying information is due by January 3rd at 5 o'clock. No exceptions, not even 5:01. Everybody has to be in by the same time. On the 4th of January, we'll meet over there at admin and verify the applications, candidate data sheets, to make sure they are property owners. By the way, they do not have to be in good standing. They only have to be property owners. And at which time we will deliver them to Mr. Peterson. And then on the January 15th, the committee will submit to the board the list of verified candidates, and we'll draw for positions on the ballot. So at that point, then things will start moving forward. I have received only 3 candidate data sheets for this election with 2 openings. So I encourage property owners, if they want to become involved in moving forward our beautiful and excellent future that we have now at Fort Clark, to get those in by 5 o'clock on January 3rd. And to also comment on the golf committee. So they are working on those restrooms. They were in deplorable condition. And we're, all of us golfers, are just really, really happy that they're finally doing something about it. So thanks to the golf committee and for cooperation from the administration for getting it done.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes, on the, just a question on the bathrooms on the golf course.
Yeah.
Who maintains them? Or who's supposed to maintain?
Well, that's a good question, actually. The golf committee should be, we should probably ask the admin who's maintaining them, because
It's been the golf staff.
for a long period of time, it was housekeeping, and the restrooms were clean and represented the golf course as well as possible, considering they're just old, right? And need redoing, but we're not sure who's doing it now. They did do a good job of cleaning them up while there. But we need somebody out there that knows what a clean bathroom looks like. And I'm sorry, that's not a guy thing.
I want to know, what are the 2 pictures of?
Oh, they're just flowers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they look really nice. They did, they cleaned everything. The floors look as good as I've seen them. They did that before. They painted the walls, they primed the door. And they do need to remove a toilet that is loose. And what I was told was that it's because the bolts are broken loose from the concrete, so they're gonna have to actually fix the concrete to sink the bolts. And to do that. So hopefully they'll pull that toilet and cap it soon.
Have they replaced the lights yet?
There is a,
No,
well, they haven't replaced the lights, but there is a light,
well,
not very bright.
you're basically taking care of function in the dark.
Yeah,
Because the light has a million bugs in it.
yeah, but it is a little slightly brighter, but yeah,
That's supposed to be done.
yeah, that would be nice. Any other questions, especially on the election committee? Okay, thank you.
Okay. The bylaws committee, nothing to report there, not that we aren't moving forward, but there are other things, bigger things that need to be done, which will reflect on all of these coming down the line, so stay tuned, would be my comment. Community council.
I'm in the back here. Take the scenic route.
Good morning. This is a short synopsis of our meetings. Fort Clark Springs Community Council meeting, December 11th, 2021. We had a correspondence. There was a letter from the Kinney County Junior Livestock Show requesting a donation of $100 to their livestock show in January, and that was passed by us. We had the Fort Clark Springs Association board panel. Present at that was Robert via Facebook?
Facebook or Zoom.
One of those things, I don't know. And Memo was there, Bill was there, and Travis was there. It was really informative because they gave a small, short presentation of what is expected of the board. If you're going to run for the board, you should know what is expected. Extremely informal, but in very short.
Informative.
Right, and if you two gentlemen, or three gentlemen, if you have anything that I've missed, please feel free to mention anything. Travis gave a strategic plan report. Same thing, extremely informative and pretty concise. I can mention one thing he was concerned about. He's trying to get rid of our side and their side. Highway 90 is getting larger and larger as a separation. He did talk to the mayor, and they realized that their roads are in bad condition and they need some equipment. We realize our roads are in bad condition. We need some equipment. So my understanding is Travis is working with them to see if they can get a joint venture to maybe share the cost of getting some trucks to prepare all the roads. He also mentioned that people think things are not getting done, but as Alan knows and Travis knows and these other people know, things have been getting done, but it takes very long time to get them done. And the other thing that Travis mentioned was the fact that all these ideas basically are not new ideas. It's topics that we've all been concerned about years ago, but the board and Alan and him are trying to get it together. So it may not look like the improvement, but it is being done, and they all take some time. Community Council is having our board meeting. We have a committee. We have two people that have shown an interest in being treasurer. We are looking for someone for the president position. We've also had a nomination for that one. If anybody's interested in helping out the community council, I have the bylaws here, what your duties are for president and treasurer. And if anybody wants them, contact me. Okay. Then the Fort Clark Springs Association Forum. That is the one that we're having in February. The rules were discussed. It will be at the Post Theater, Saturday, immediately after our meeting, which will start at 10 o'clock. And as you know, we make that meeting very short. Basically, it's just a treasurer's report, secretary report, and then we go right into the forum. And the rules have been discussed. Fort Clark Days update. The meetings are posted on the Fort Clark Days website. Things are going along nicely, but we need people to help Stephen Fox get donations. So if you're good at getting money, Linda, you could probably get. And we are still looking for ladies to help with the ladies' tea. I found out I was never able to attend it because usually I'm hanging around with Bill at the barriers. It's a wonderful thank you gift for the women and actors. They're the ones that spend all the time out there cooking, prepping, so it's a great thank you gift. If you would like to help, I think Phyllis said she might mentor you. If you would like to be involved in that, that would be great. The next Fort Clark Days meeting is Wednesday, December 15th at the Adult Center. Okay, the members' concerns, the same thing. Everything that Mr. Rummy had read. We used to mention it like now, when I gave this report. It's been going on for years. And then all of a sudden, Travis said the same thing. He said, we just can't act on this stuff when you give it to us right then and there. We couldn't make the notes quick enough. So what we did is now our new policy. We will, right after the meeting on Saturday, I will go home, I will make the concerns, and Natanya will send it right to Robert, and then all the rest of the board has a chance to look at it and think of it. I feel sorry that we've been doing that all those years. It's not fair for you guys to get the stuff at the last minute. So we have that rectified. The announcements, the golf cart tours of home will be December 16th, and I guess there were a lot of people there. I think there were like 50-some people that went cruising around. Let's see. The Dutch Oven Workshop, as was mentioned, is going to be December 19th at the RV Park. Starts at 2 o'clock, And I talked to Catherine again, the same thing. They would like to keep it at 30 people. So if you don't have your reservations, you better see if you can get them. And our next meeting is January 8th at 10 o'clock in the boardroom. If you gentlemen have anything you want to add about the concerns, or if I made any mistakes, please let me know. Other than that, that's it. We'll see you guys next year.
Thank you.
I would like to sort of emphasize what you said about the changes that we're making. There are lots of them. And it kind of is like, this is a mental thing that I go through. It's like a big ship that has died out in the ocean. And it takes a long time for that ship to get back up to speed, the changes to be made, the work to be done. And then once we get up to speed, that's where we are. We're kind of like halfway through that and still going. Mr. Peterson's got a whole lot more to do. And we will eventually get up to speed, so be patient with us. It's not like we're not working in the background.
It is true, Travis said there's things that you're not gonna see until it actually
Right.
materialized, because there's a lot going on. It was a good presentation from him.
It's hard to turn a train.
Well, ship, whatever, it's all the same principle.
Yeah.
Slow going at first, and then once we get going, wonderful things will be happening.
I'll tell you what's really obvious, I'm just saying, the par 3 course looks really good without those dead trees.
Yes,
I was
thank you.
amazed.
Oh, God, it looks maintained now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
The dirt's maintained.
okay, now we're to old unfinished business. Now, there are 2 or 3 things in here that, I believe there's an individual here who would like to speak about the barking dogs. The changes in the rules and regulations, at this point, the new lease for the water, that's all basically something that we need Travis here for. So unless someone has anything in particular you want to discuss about these, do you agree that we should wait for Travis?
I would just say go one at a time and
Yeah.
let's table them again.
Okay, so table item 1, rules and regulations change?
That's the barking dog, who's the person here that.
Well, there is someone here, but whether, she's gonna get up and speak, obviously, she's prepared something to say, but.
During the discussion.
Yeah, we'll do it down below on the discussion, that's why I said that.
Okay.
Do we vote on this, to table these?
We can just
Table.
unanimous consent for him to table it.
Okay, fine. If someone has something they're not unanimous about, please let me know. New lease for wastewater treatment area.
Please table.
Okay, I'm agreeing that. What's that down there?
Table.
Okay, reinstating the reveille and taps.
Table.
Okay, capital budget resolution. I would like to ask one question of Mr. Peterson on this. Is that's in the works, correct? And we will have more to say about that when we get a little further into it.
We're working on a temporary capital items, I say as-need basis. We need to do a 5-year plan overall for capital
And
expenses.
in the last meeting we had, I don't know if all of you were here because I know there's a lot of Winter Texans back. By the way, welcome. We're glad to have you back. We're trying to establish capital accounts for each asset that we have. So in the future, and so much a percentage would go into those accounts on a monthly basis so that when repairs need to be done, we're not scrambling. We have the money there. That takes time as well, but that's what they're trying to establish. Okay, so that will be tabled as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Who's gonna talk about the email votes on the service club? Should I do that?
There's nothing.
I mean, we had electronic votes on two subjects. The service club HVAC died. And that is a big moneymaker for us. That building is rented almost every weekend.
No.
It was replaced, and it is expensed on this last month's budget, or
The numbers that we
Yeah.
just had.
so that could go as a reserve item, or it can either go as a capital expense or operating expense, either way.
Okay,
We'll talk to our accountants how we want to do that.
okay,
But it is reflected in the P&L for this last month as an expense.
okay. Now, the annual audit, we have,
I'm sorry. Just, you and I talked about it earlier, just for the members' knowledge. it's my understanding that the air conditioner that broke down at the service club was over 20 years old, correct?
Pretty much all the ones.
It was just totally worn out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry. And the second one is the annual audit. You've already discussed the annual audit, so we don't need to go any further than that. So I think we're all set with that. Now, discussion items. Barking dogs. I don't have anything in particular that I want to say at this point. Does anyone else here? I know, Suzanne Main's here, and I'd like to welcome her to come up and say what she'd like to say. She is now the current manager of the condo. Oh, I'm sorry, president of the condo. So she contacted me in this past month and had something she'd like to say, and I suggested that she prepare something and come in, and that's what she's done.
Okay, thank you very much. I've got, see some representatives from the Masters Condo, it's the Masters Homeowners Association, Inc. So I have Dick Ebert, Bob Pegenkoff, I have a tenant, Sky Gray, who is actually a tenant of a condo unit that I own. I don't think there's anybody else. I'm sorry. Don't look at the back, you're up front. And then Jan Metcalf, who is also an owner of several of our condos, and she also has tenants as well, long-term tenants. So I'm going to just launch into this, and I'll try to be brief, but it's probably going to be several minutes.
Go ahead. It's all right.
Okay.
That's what we're asked to do.
So, dear Board of Directors, my name is Suzanne Main, President of and representing the Masters Homeowners Association, Inc., a 16-unit condominium complex located within Fort Clark Springs. I and several condo owners attended the January 20th, 2021 board meeting where we brought up our ongoing and apparently unresolvable complaints of excessively barking dogs owned by the borderlines in Unit 27. And I believe they've been, she's aware, they are aware, and after that board meeting, in which Ms. Borderline was present for other reasons, there were some owner-instigated mitigations. However, those soon were abandoned and the situation returned to its baseline of excessively barking dogs. At that time, we were encouraged to understand the board would be drafting barking dog nuisance language, which we hoped would resolve our ongoing complaints. So impacts to the Masters HOA owners and their tenants. Number one is loss of amenity. As owners, we are experiencing a measurable loss of amenity. Our balconies face across the golf course toward Unit 27. It's extremely pleasant to sit out of an evening and in the morning to enjoy nature, the ambiance of the surroundings, and even the chatter of the golfers as they tee off and move through the area. In autumn, winter, and spring are the best times to enjoy the balconies before the summer heat drives us all indoors. Several owners and tenants enjoy leaving the windows and sliding doors open to enjoy the breezes and the nature sounds. However, this is rendered impossible by the excessively barking dogs in Unit 27. Day and night, day after day after day. This year there is an additional barking dog in Unit 27, several houses down from the historical barking dog's residence. Some days the dogs bark for long periods, intermittently from 6:30 in the morning until 10:30 at night. Even getting up in the night at 2 or 3 in the morning to answer the call of nature, as one of our owners has described it, gained him a barking dog serenade when he returned to bed. Each group of golfers is greeted by an excessively barking dog cacophony. Going out to the balcony causes the dogs to start barking. Number two, loss of high-quality tenants and reliable long-term income. Not all owners of units choose to live in them full-time or even at all. Many of us have seen these units as good investments, renting them out for long-term or short-term as our business interests vary. Despite the apparent ambiance of living at the Masters, we have had our struggles retaining high-quality tenants. The one recurring complaint is not rent price, but excessively barking dogs. Our prior tenant chose to end his lease, citing the barking dogs as a major reason. He filed a complaint with Fort Clark Springs, citing the barking dogs were causing an inability to have phone conversations, loss of sleep, and interruption in homeschooling. And I emailed this complaint to the GM back in April 2021. Other owners who rent their units out for long-term or short-term leases have reported the same issues to me, and currently we have a number of new long-term, relatively new long-term tenants who are also starting to complain about barking dogs. If you look at barking dog issues across Fort Clark Springs, a review of Fort Clark Springs lot owners' Facebook page reveals that excessively barking dogs is a recurring complaint, as is dogs on the loose. Notifying security does not figure into reaching a solution in the Facebook page. Mostly people seem resigned to living with excessively barking dogs. It took one group of members in an area banding together and taking their issues to the JP for resolution. So the current status, the excessively barking dogs issues in Unit 27 has been going on for more than a year, probably closer to 2 years or maybe longer. I and members have noted the April 21st board meeting, action item 6, rules and regulations changed, dirt bikes and barking dogs. The dirt bikes changes were approved and barking dogs nuisance regulation language, which is excellent, by the way. It's really good. It was tabled and continues to be tabled. We're now to December 2021. The board has not completed this action item to clearly give Fort Clark Springs members and persons living on the fort direction. For example, rules and regulations on what constitutes a barking dog nuisance. In the meantime, owners and tenants living on site at the Masters have been given unclear guidance on responses to formal and informal complaints. Security's hands are tied, apparently because the language is still draft and not approved. Disturbance of the peace seems to be difficult for security personnel to enforce. Currently, the protocol means that we call security to report the excessively barking dog, then security drives over to where it can observe the barking dog, waits for 3 minutes to assess if it's barking excessively and writes up a report. Then I'm not too sure what the next steps are to stop the barking dog from recurring, or stop the excessive barking from recurring. I strongly urge the board to put it forward with urgency to finalize and implement an enforceable barking dog nuisance rule regulation with a resolution protocol to resolve the complaints and require owners to manage their animals' behavior in accordance with the rules. So when I started this process this year, recently, I talked with Mr. Peterson and left him a voicemail, and he and I had a conversation. I mean, he informed me that when he had gotten my voicemail, he had a conversation with security and basically outlined this procedure for them, in the absence of more detail than what we have, which is really a justice of the peace response. He gave them instruction as to how to respond. And then I was talking with Bob, and he indicated he's one of our winter Texans. When he first got back here, he had approached security and said, I want to file a complaint because, of course, when he got back here, the dogs were doing the same thing they've been doing when he left, back in April or whenever that was. So their response at that point was, well, it's pretty much useless for you to do that because nothing's going to happen. And then he's gone back again since you've had the conversation with security, and they've said that they will do something about it. Is that right? Yeah. So we can tell that the conversation that Alan and I had and the action that Alan took is generating a change in the response that we're able to get when we make a complaint. But I think it's still, there's nothing concrete yet. And so security comes out and they sit there for 30 minutes, and maybe by that point the owners have said, something, it's time to bring the dogs in. And so that, so then maybe that complaint goes by the wayside. But, I've got owners who, every time I show up over there, they all congregate around and say, we got a problem because the dogs are barking. And I understand that dogs barking during the day, traditionally there's not really anything you can do about that. It's the nighttime hours that we seem to have more willingness to, for enforcement. But in this day and time, you have people who work from home. You have people who maybe are not well. And so the excessive barking is the issue. And nobody at the Masters, as far as I know, has anything against dogs. It's just that when the dog's behavior is not being managed consistently over time, and it's not just us. I mean, if you look at the Facebook page, there's been at least three separate, there's like these three separate coordinate, back and forth of people being up at 12:30, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, going back and forth about the dogs in Unit 7 are barking, or the dogs in wherever are barking. And everybody just seems to be resigned to put up with it, which I think is not right. It's a shame in this beautiful neighborhood to have to deal with that. And there are many well-behaved dogs. And when we have the areas where we have misbehaving dogs and owners who aren't managing them, it's really unfortunate, and I don't think it's right. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Any questions or comments?
I would like to give you an example. Imagine barking dogs right across from your motel here. How would you handle that? And then secondly, we have people that work nights, that sleep during the daytime in the condo. And we represent 18 porches that are 50 yards away from the dog pound. Well, that's the problem we're faced. So please take this under consideration. I love dogs, but the dogs have got to be subordinate to the owners. They bark, it's the owner's responsibility to solve the problem.
Yes.
Do you know what happened with the JP, when they got JP involved?
Okay.
Yeah,
What happened?
yeah,
They were fighting?
the person moved.
The person that was filing the complaint
The
with
person that was
JP?
violating the complaint moved.
Okay.
But the JP never addressed the owner?
Well, it was a tenant.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, what is it in there?
Oh, okay.
If anybody, yeah. I know there's lots of stuff that gets posted on the Fort Park owners page, but, let's see. Yeah, it says the JP, they sent a letter, the girl ended up moving within a week. Don't know what was in the letter, but that's the only one that got action.
What's the allowable
Okay.
number?
Okay, are we, any more questions? Thank you. Thank you. I do want to make you aware, that we just this week, again, part of the big ship moving forward, have received, information with regard to our rules and regulations. That's where it is, right? Rules and regulations. We're working on revisions to the rules and regulations, and it is specifically about dogs. We're going to encourage our members to register their dogs. This talks about what we cannot allow, and then later in the document, it talks about fines. So we are moving forward. We're not quite there, and I know you're very tired of all of this. I'm not sure exactly when this is going to be approved, but it should be soon. And hopefully then you'll have the tools. The one thing I was thinking of in the shower this morning was, does anyone there keep a log? Could someone keep a log? Just,
Well, that's why it's important that you call security, because we keep a log.
yeah.
And for our backup, so that we can prove down the road when we have the issues that this is our documentation of all the times you've been called. Without that, it's gonna take us a little while, but we have to be called on it so that we can document when it's happening.
So we will be calling at 1 and 3 and
That's fine.
I've got
2 in the
24/7
morning.
security.
Yeah.
It's a matter, it's not gonna be an issue.
I still think if you can take an expensive pad of paper and keep a log, that helps as well. The more information that we can have to substantiate all this, the better.
I
According
can
to
hear them
the-
at my house. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can hear them at your house?
Yes, and it annoys me, and I'm not close to the condo.
You must hear them.
I hear them occasionally.
According to the security report, for November.